Hi there, Kelly here. I'm here at the AS220 main gallery. We are here for the Of Color gallery, and then we have Norlin Olivo. Is that how I say your last name? Olivo here, the curator of the exhibit, to take us through it. All right, here we go.
So this is the first piece. It's by Shaka Dendi. He is a local New England artist based in Boston. So I met Shaka a couple years ago in Boston when I went to Mass Art. And I guess I should start by saying that all these artists are artists of color from New England. So the idea, because of Corona, there was sort of a lapse in the shows at AS220, and so I had contacted Neil, and we were sort of trying to work together on finding a solution and placing a show in here. And rather than just show a bunch of my photographs and my work, I sort of took it upon myself to get this cool collective of artists from New England and sort of have this group show. So yeah, there's people who do painting and sculptural stuff. There's Ali, who is a designer and does a lot of sort of graphic design, but also photo stuff. There's myself, and then there's Carlos de la Rosa, who is a local Providence artist. Cool. So then moving on, this is collection of portraits by Carlos and myself. And all of these were taken in Providence, which is sort of an interesting thing that ended up happening when we put the show together, that a lot of these portraits were, for the most part, taking place in Providence or Rhode Island. And these are silver gelatin 16 by 20 darkroom prints, printed here locally at AS220's darkroom, which is pretty cool to sort of tie everything together. So we'll move on over there. That's Ali's piece, Ali Thatcher. Ali is a Massachusetts-based artist, graphic designer, all sorts of things. And this is a photograph that she took, printed, obviously on a piece of fabric that is then turned into a do-rag or sort of a headscarf that people can wear. Yeah, and she has a lot of t-shirts and designs and stuff, so if you do like her work or what you see here, you can definitely hit her up on Instagram or her website. Here we have some more portraits. The first one by Carlos, taken on Broad Street. I feel like a lot of these portraits are either friends, some friends and families, but a lot of them are also just like people we met, you know, on the street, or he met on the street, and we sort of just photographed. And again, these are 16 by 20 silver gelatin prints, all done at AS220. Yeah, so it's sort of interesting when you put a group show together. This is my first show that I've curated, so I've never really put work together. I've always been an artist primarily, so it's exciting to get everyone's work in the same room and then sort of see what it all looks like, and kind of came together nice, I think. It's funny, we were all touching on similar themes. And this is a photo by me. I like photographing a lot of street signs, or a lot of sort of handwritten, sort of painted on, anything that people sort of do themselves, because I just find it so interesting how people get their message across, but also like how unique the writing and the signs can look. And this is also in Providence. And then over here, you have a really big, I think 24 by 24 print. This is a Carlos de la Rosa. So this was actually in the Dominican Republic, where his dad lives. So he went over there and did this mini series where he photographed sort of his family and the time that he had spent there. And this was also printed at AS220. So, you know, hopefully after this is all over, you know, we have a lot of sort of printing services here that people can take advantage of, and thankfully we were able to sort of use for this show. And then the last but not least is a portrait taken by me of Ali, one of the artists that was part of the show and is part of the show. This was taken Ali's backyard, one of the first times that I had visited her in Massachusetts, where she lives. Yeah, inkjet print. Yeah, is there any questions that you have or anything specifically you'd?
So have you always done photography? Did you go to school for it, or are you self-taught?
Yeah, so it's sort of this like weird in between. I sort of started coming here to AS220 in 2009, 2010. So I started doing photography sort of as this hobby, and I was actually going to school for engineering, believe it or not. And then I dropped out of that, started doing music stuff, and just found myself falling more and more with photography. But I had had some experience in it, and I had credits from engineering school. So when I went to transfer, I got into mass art as a junior, which was very convenient for me because I felt like it was the most economical, and I was able to sort of learn these things that I didn't learn. So yeah, most of my life has been music and photography, and now I'm dabbling a little bit into sculpture and painting, but mostly photo. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So how did you find the other artists in the show with you?
Yeah, so Ali I had met from, I guess, just doing events in Providence, because Ali works closely with another group here called Stay Silent, doing a lot of their design, and we were both doing similar sort of event planning and parties. That's how I met Ali. And then Shaka I met, as I said earlier, in Boston, because he went to Emerson and I went to Mass Art around the same time, so we sort of met through mutual friends. And then Carlos, I've known Carlos La Rosa for about a decade now, and we met here at AS220 actually. We were both youth who went to AS220's youth program and sort of did photography with the staff here. So yeah, everyone was really receptive, and I was glad that everyone was sort of on board to sort of join the show. And I think in this time it was sort of important to showcase, that there are artists of color here in Providence, but also New England as a whole, and that, there needs to be more sort of a push to get those artists sort of shown and sort of represented in galleries and magazines and publications and whatnot. So it's really cool that you guys are doing this for us.
All right. Take that from you. All right. That was AS220, and you guys will pick back up with Alyssa. Thank you guys so much.